Going, if you're watching this video, who is this video for? This video is for someone who currently has a pending interview with a representative of a school abroad or a professor abroad. What do I mean by that? You are looking to study in Canada, in US, in UK, in Australia, and any other country, and you have an interview coming up with the school bodies. This video is going to address one mistake you shouldn't make. Maybe we'll make it two, but then I'm also going to tell you where to get the rest of the things that are going to strengthen you as you go head on for this interview. The common mistakes that one of the commonest mistakes that people make when they are doing interview is what? Their background. Their background. They have a very distracting background. Okay, so let me explain what I mean by background. Let's say you are in your country: Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Uganda, Rwanda, Zambia, Kenya, right? Or any other country as well. You are in your country, yes, and you have this interview. You have to ensure that whatever is showing at your background is let me say something that you are okay showing to someone at the office. There are people who don't realize that. For example, you see a student show up for an interview. At their back, there's a clothes that is being a hanging clothes, plates. Think of all the worst things that can be at someone's background: clothes, plates, worst food. Several kinds of things you don't even want to know. So what happens is that this background is distracting the person, is giving a different kind of opinion about who you are likely going to be. And why do you think the person asked for an interview in the first place? To see whether you are the right person. And remember, most times they have choice, meaning 2, 3, 4, 5 professors. 2, 3, 4, 5 students have messaged this professor, and the professor is interviewing them. You see? Professor is interviewing them. Because the professor is interviewing them, what's going to happen? If you are not the best candidate, you will not be selected. And that best candidate, most times, is not even so much about what you have to say and how intelligent you are. See, truth be told, it would have been great if that was the only thing that is being judged, right? If that was the only thing that is being judged, that would have been great. But we are all humans. Before you say, why must you judge what is on my background? How does that matter? My dear, even you, if I give you 10 persons now and say select one and they are all good, suddenly you will see yourself doing the same thing. How did the person talk? This is not so much about what they have upstairs, because that one guaranteed probably you have it, most likely, right? So you have to ensure that your background is awesome. Your background is okay. Your background is something that you will want your boss at work to see. All right? That office background, that is what you want to replicate. The unfortunate thing is that most of these interviews, people are doing it when they're at home. So suddenly they forget that last is like you should be treated as official as possible. So you see, plates that you used to eat is at your background. Or there are people at your background that are talking, music is blasting at your background. Do you get? So many things. As much as possible. So when I say background, there is the picture background, which is what you see, right? There is also the auditory background, what you hear. Okay? All these things are things that can eliminate you. Prevent you from getting that scholarship, prevent you from getting that admission, prevent you from getting that study loan. When the person is looking at you, like there are people, they'll put bunk beds at their background. Let's say, yes, you're doing this interview, for example, you're at NYSC camp. Look for a plain background. That's the wall. That's the list that is expected. But you're showing your background where there are 8 beds behind you, as if you are in a concentration camp, right? That's not the best. You are giving a different opinion. You are giving a different opinion. about yourself, and this is something that you should avoid. All right, this is something you should avoid. So we've talked about background. I told you I wanted to talk to you about number one mistake, commonest mistake people make, their background. But now let me just give you a snippet of the second one, which is what? Eye contact. Many of us are coming from a place where to show respect you look down. When somebody is talking to you, you're like, okay, yes sir, yes sir. You see my face? Yes sir. We'll do it. I'll send it to you immediately now, sir. Right? Like you have that humble face, humble background. You're not even looking at the person. Do you know here it is considered that you are timid if you're not looking somebody eyeball to eyeball when they are talking to you? So what you thought was a sign of respect is seen as a sign of timidity. So right there, you are selling yourself short. It's not necessary. It's not your fault, though. This is how you grew up. But whose fault that you don't know what to do when you are meeting the professor or the graduate coordinator? Whose fault? And just like the same way, it's not really your fault, right? It's also not the professor's fault that they don't know that you looking down is a sign of respect, not a sign of timidity, right? But think about it. You are the one who need the thing most. So you are the one who have to what? Who have to fill in the gap. Or let me not put it this way. Everybody have to fill in the gap. But your duty is not to make sure that the professor fill in the gap. Your duty is to make sure that you fill in the gap, right? Yeah, let the professor worry about filling in his own gap. So make sure that whenever you are in an interview, your background is something that you can show to somebody at the office. All right? And also ensure that you're having eye contact, eyeball contact. You see the one I'm looking at you now? See the one I'm looking at? This is how I want you to look at the professor when they are talking to you. Eyeball to eyeball. Right? Remind yourself, because inside your head you may want to go down. You may want to look down. You want to respect. No. Eyeball to eyeball. What did I say? Repeat it to yourself. What did I say? Yeah, you are not saying it. You are forming big girl and big boy now. You are forming that you're gapata. I know. You may be a branch manager. You may be a CEO right now and you're listening to me. You are the sales manager. You are the HR manager at your workplace. But you have to be, you have to take this message with that humility so that it doesn't stop you from getting the things you deserve abroad. And let me tell you, this information is not only for people who are relocating. Even when you have arrived this country, if you don't take this advice, you will see that you qualify for a job, you go for the interview and they won't take you. I'm telling you. So, ensure eyeball to eyeball, right? And ensure that your background is always nice. When you don't know what to do, your background is not so fine. Maybe you don't have that office-like background. Look for a plain background. Like, put yourself behind a wall, right? I don't have a wall. But put yourself behind a wall. A plain wall. It's better to be plain than to go showing people plates, clothes, singlets, washed pants. You know, people do this. I'm telling you. People do this. All right? Let me give you a third one. Are you ready? A third one is stop begging. A lot of people, please help me. Help me. Me and my family, help me. Ma, I need this thing. Help me. I'm ready to do anything. You are just understand that is the easiest way to tell the person that you are not the right candidate. Don't beg. Begging will never get you that slot. I promise you. It will not get you that slot. Don't beg. Focus on telling the person why you are the best person for this role. Don't beg. Begging will not get you that slot. All right? So, ensure that, you see, I gave you a total of 3, right? Make sure your background is good. Eyeball to eyeball. Don't look down as a sign of respect. And what's the third one? I'm sure you can repeat it. Write a summary of these 3 as a comment. Write a summary of the 3 so that you remember to take them away with you. So this is my message for you today. And for those who are relocating abroad soon via the study abroad route, you know, we got you covered. And you remember, yes, I told you I was going to tell you where to get the rest of the information. We have admission and scholarship and study loan masterclass. So for people, you want to relocate abroad, you don't know how to do it, you don't know how it's done, you even have you've interviewed with 2 or 3 professors and nobody have accepted you, you don't know what you are doing wrong. This is the time, this is the moment when you say, you know what, let me get trained, let me go for a training and see how it's done, right? Let me get trained. And because of that, you'll be able to, once you get trained, you'll be able to get it right. If you don't know something, right, you learn how to do it. No need to say, I don't know how to do it, and let that remain with you forever. So there is a way. There is a way. And this is why we offer this training. But I would say, start with our free study abroad masterclass, free study abroad webinar by going to www.vantagemigration.ca. Just to remember what I'm doing. Eyeball to eyeball. Yes. Go to www.vantagemigration.ca. www.vantagemigration.ca. I also add the description to this video. So you can attend our free webinar, see what we do, see how we do it, learn more about, our training and all that, right? And the webinar is free. So attend and get yourself equipped. You're going for interviews, but going for interview, getting those interviews, first of all, you've done well. But you have to understand, you need the admission, you need the scholarship, you need the study loan. That is when you will know that, yes, you have actually done your part, right? So if you're having problem with that, if you're jittery, get trained. Attend our free study abroad webinar. Go to www.vantagemigration.ca. Again, eyeball to eyeball, right? Okay.